Good morning, guys. It is Tuesday, the 23rd. Thanksgiving's rolling up on us real quick. You won't hear from me till next week. But what I'm going to give you today is a little bit of more data on how you can use the app. But first, before we get into that, let's get into, let's talk a little bit about something, right? Something that we've been talking about a lot, something I haven't hit on enough, happens to be, Operation Underground Railroad, wearing the shirt, right? Quit jerking off, support OUR. In fact, you can go to our site, quitjerkingoff.com, go to shop. You can buy this shirt. All the money goes to help, fight human trafficking. You go to my website, aaron.chapman.com, scroll down, you'll see the donate button. Anytime you close a transaction, we just ask that you do what we do, right? Throw $50 at it, right? So that's just a plug for that one. Going into Thanksgiving, there's some people out there ain't going to see time with family. Not going to see sitting around a table, having a meal and a good conversation. They're going to see some horrible stuff in their life, and they're going to try and compartmentalize those things and try and distance themselves from it as much as they can mentally. We need to get them the hell out of it. The only way we can get that is support the people who go do that. So I'm just going to drop that on you. Think about that as you're going into this holiday, please. Now let's go into why we're here. We're here to talk about markets. We're here to talk about what's going on with ways to make you more successful. So we'll share real quick what is happening in the market. This is what I've been watching a lot of lately. I've talked a lot about this particular chart, and I'll go all the way back to 2013. This particular line here, what is drawn here, is where we currently sit. We're basically, I'm not sure exactly where the line is, right? But right here, right in this area, if you go see, we're hitting right this 101.94 is what it's claiming our particular certain position is. That's the price on the security, the 2.5 coupon for the 30-year mortgage-backed security. Every time, as you can see here, we haven't gotten above it with any really definitive strength in the past. We've talked about before how we've, anytime we got above it, didn't hold real long, tried to come and break through it again, bottomed out really hard, right? Worked our way back up there, bottomed out really hard. Worked our way back up here, bottomed out. But COVID and the huge influx of capital from the Federal Reserve to put those trillions of dollars in, jumped it clear up here, kept it above there definitively for this length of time. We're coming up on not quite about a year and a half now, year and 7 months. I'm just going off the top of my head, I'm not going to count it all out and waste that time. But look, we're there, right? We bounced off of it before, if it's anything like skipping a rock across the pond, eventually it's going to stop and it's going to sink, right? So I'm guessing that's what we're looking at. I can't say for certain. I don't know what's going on in the minds of the traders who trade these things, but here's the thing that concerns me, that we're on this and we're just beaten on this right now. We had, within the last 24 hours, the news come out from, the Washington, right? President Biden has nominated Jerome Powell for another term. He did have somebody else who might have taken his place, and that person was a lot more, they call that person more dovish, right? She is going to be the vice chairman going forward. If they replaced Jerome Powell at that point with somebody who was more dovish, I think that would have been a lot worse for us, and we would have seen some major negative reaction in the bond market, because a dovish approach to what's going on with inflation. Inflation is out of control, and I don't believe they're handling inflation correctly. But at the same time, inflation, as we talked about, friend of the real estate investor, but when it comes to all your expenses, it's not so friendly, right? It's going to get you one way or the other. Tie up as much long-term capital as you possibly can, protect yourself against that inflation. So let's get into the app. That's one of the other reasons we're here. So today we're going to talk about how to use the Schedule E calculator, how to figure out how much are you going to show an income to your lender off of your tax return, right? You get your Schedule E, you break that down, and you think you know what the number is, but some lenders talk about, depreciation can't be added back in, that they got to hit you at that, so you're in a negative position. Well, let me show you how we calculate it, okay? So that's your rental income app. Got to go in. If you haven't gotten this yet, of course, go to your Play Store, get the QJO investment tool, the quit jerking off investment tool. Quit wasting time on stuff there's no value. These are the things that you need right here to help you become successful. So you get your QJO investment tool. Of course, you get in there. When you get it launched, you want to go into the Schedule E cash flow calculator. This is what we're talking about, going to Schedule E of your tax return and calculating that. You're going to click on that, and it's going to open up the calculator here. So I put this together based upon some rental property that I'm aware of. And so you've got, in this situation, rents were received of this much. So we're going to go into your calculator and look, what do you need? You need to have line 3 on the tax returns, which is the gross rent received. Look, line 3 right here, rent received. There it is. Plug it in, right? Then you go to insurance, line 9 on the tax return. Just go down to line 9. Line 9 is also referenced here, right over $500, right? Mortgage interest, line 12 right here, line 12 of the tax return. Come over here, go to line 12, scoot across 2434, plug that number in. You want to get your taxes, which is line 16 right there. Plug those in, 983. Your depreciation, I have to go into the next calculator. So your depreciation is line 18. Scroll down to 18. Depreciation expenses or depletion, 3196. Plug that number in. Total expenses, which is line 20. And put all those in. And then you want to know, what is your principal, interest, and tax return, tax insurance payment, right? So PITI payment, principal, interest, tax, insurance. And in HOA, if there's HOA, add the other two, plug that number in. In this particular instance, it's $426.85. You calculate, you get a monthly cash flow of $319.57. It factors all those things in for you, right? It takes in what things that you have to, that are actually deducted expenses. And then it takes in what you can add back in, such as depreciation. It comes up with this number. In this particular situation, $319.57. So that is how that particular calculator works. Download the app, play with the calculators. If you have questions about it, reach out to me. We'll get back with you guys after the holiday. I hope you have an amazing holiday. Remember, there's people out there that are not going to experience what you're going to experience. They're going to go through some hell. They're in some hell right now as we're talking. Consider what I've pointed out. Help these guys out. Appreciate you guys.